Before you reach for that estradiol patch, there are a few things every woman over 40 needs to try first, especially if you're a woman of faith. Today we're going to break down the foundational steps for supporting your hormones naturally, the biblical perspective on stewarding your health before turning to medication, and how to know if and when bioidentical hormones might actually be the right step. What is happening during the perimenopausal transition that is making women turn to estrogen patches and hormone replacement therapy? Well, there's a few things going on that are making the menopausal transition harder in this day and age than it ever has been. I promise you, our great-grandmothers and our ancestors did not struggle the way that we women struggle today. And there's a few reasons. We are living completely different lives. Our lives are very high stress, and because we're all doing it, it seems normal, but it's not normal to our physiology. At about this time in the past, women would be chilling out. They would be sitting on the porch, knitting, just watching life go by and enjoying all the fruits of their labor. Their children are grown. They're starting to take care of them instead of us taking care of them. So now in this day and age, we're at the peak of our careers. We are trying to enjoy life to the fullest. We're trying to stay healthy and fit and maintain our friendships and go out for drinks and cocktails and just do life to the fullest. So we are asking our body to continue to act like it did when it was 20 or 30 during this transition time. And that is a really important thing for you to understand, because you need to give your body grace. Your body wants to be healthy and thrive. It wants to take care of you and get you through this next phase of life. But you have to start treating it a little bit differently. And I know, because I learned the hard way. I abused my body. I talked mean to my body. I treated it like a trash can. And it turns out all of that was making my body struggle more. So the first thing I recommend is just taking stock of how are you showing up? How are you treating your body? What kind of movement are you doing throughout the day? Because maybe the exercise that you used to do is just no longer working for you. Maybe that diet or the food choices that you've been doing just are no longer working. So I want you to just start there and really think about how have you been treating your body. So now we're seeing a trend that everybody realizes hormones are safe, they don't cause cancer, and so I better get on estrogen patch. I better get on hormone replacement therapy because I'm going through this menopausal transition. And they're realizing that it's not always the answer. Sometimes it is, and you feel so much better getting on those things. I know I did, but it wasn't the end all be all. And what I see in my virtual medical practice oftentimes is women, they start on hormone therapy, but then they need their doses changed all of the time, or they feel better for a month or two, and then they go back to feeling the way that they did. And they're like, why isn't my hormone replacement therapy working? And it's because it, again, is Band-Aid medicine a little bit. But the truth is that it's not always the answer, because there are so many changes beyond just the depletion of your hormones happening during this menopausal transition. Your gut microbiome is shifting. The way that you digest and process food and absorb your vitamins and minerals is changing. The way that your adrenal glands are handling your daily stressors starts to change. Your thyroid listens to all of this, and that changes how it functions. Your immune system actually changes how it responds to things without estrogen, and so you are more likely to turn on an autoimmune condition or get sick easier. So all of these changes are happening, and if you don't address those, the hormone replacement therapy probably isn't going to be the solution that you thought it would be. Before you go on hormone therapy, you want to dial in the foundational things that you're doing every day and make sure that you are loving your body and nourishing your body and listening to it and giving it what it needs. I run a Fast to Faith 40-day awakening program, and when women come into this program who are not on HRT or BHRT, they feel better, and they mention that their hot flashes and their night sweats have calmed down and that they sleep better. And why is that? Because they're breaking up with sugar, they're decreasing the inflammation in their gut and helping their digestion function better. They're calming down their immune system because they're healing their gut. And so all of the symptoms of menopause start to calm down, and they're always surprised at how much better they feel hormonally when they're doing this fasting program. So it's really cool. And the other piece of it is, if you are nourishing your soul, if you are taking time to really think about what you want, why you're doing all the stuff that you're doing. Is it fulfilling your purpose, your soul's desire to be on this earth? If you are starting to really step into that, you aren't going to feel so conflicted and so stressed out. You will sleep better. You will feel better. You will have more energy, because I promise you, if you're going to a job every day that you hate and that you're complaining about, your entire physiology is going to respond to that. It's going to be tired. It's not going to want to get out of bed. It's going to hold on extra weight and inflammation, and it's going to be a struggle just to get through your days. So I would encourage you to see about how are you showing up every single day. And the Fast to Faith 40-day program might be just the easiest stepping stone before you go on hormone replacement. Just do this 40 days with us. Learn how to meditate on scripture and really nourish your soul while healing your gut and calming down your immune system and your adrenal glands and getting out of that fight or flight stressed out mode. And then see, do you still want to go on hormone replacement therapy? I promise you, it's going to be the best decision you ever made. So the first thing I would do, and what I did do before I went on hormone replacement therapy, is I had a conversation with God. I asked him to help me see where I was going wrong, where I was going astray, and why I felt like my body was failing me. It wasn't actually failing me. I was failing it. I wasn't listening to my body. I wasn't giving it what it needed. And so I just needed to take some time and reflect on that and speak to God. And one of my favorite scriptures is James 1:5. It says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God and he will provide it to you." He wants you to know what's going on with your body. He wants you to embrace the natural rhythms of healing. Just take some time to really look at what you're doing throughout the day. Maybe even write out everything that you do in a typical day and see, do my actions match my priorities? Do my actions match my desires for the health that I want? Because if they don't, then something needs to shift. Before considering an estradiol patch, I've created a step-by-step guide on how to balance your hormones naturally. Click the link in the description to get access and start healing today. How do I know when to start an estradiol patch? Here's the deal. You almost always need progesterone before you need estrogen. That is a really important point to make. During the perimenopausal transition, when your estrogen is going up and down, that's what it does. It's a roller coaster. Your ovaries stop making progesterone consistently, and that level just declines. But estrogen continues to be made and then not made and made and not made. And so it goes up, it goes down. And that can go on for a while. And if you add an estrogen patch or any kind of estrogen replacement to that, the highs are going to be higher, and that isn't going to feel so good. What I usually recommend is start with progesterone. Progesterone is our calming, natural anti-anxiety hormone. It helps us sleep better. It helps us handle our stress throughout our day. And it really makes the estrogen roller coaster less crazy. It kind of balances that out. You'll know when you need estrogen once your levels stay low. And that usually feels like hot flashes, night sweats, or you just feel depressed. You don't feel like yourself. And so that's usually a good indication that you need to also add in the estrogen at that point. Now, if you've gone an entire year without a period, you're in menopause. You have gone through that transition and you need estrogen at that point because you're no longer producing estrogen. I will say, if you've had an endometrial ablation or a hysterectomy, that complicates the picture because you don't get that feedback. You don't have a period, so you don't really know where you are in your cycle. So that's why it's really important important to work with a provider who is well trained in hormone therapy. We at Dr. Tabatha are licensed in over half the country, so we can help you virtually most likely, or look locally and find someone who really knows all the details about hormone replacement therapy before you go jumping on estrogen, because you might make things worse before you make them better. If you found this helpful, you'll love the next video where I talk about the top signs of estrogen dominance and what to do about it naturally. Click here to keep learning and keep healing.